Hey guys, welcome to HeavyCivilHelper 1.6.2, the most stable version so far. We're a map-based field coordination and CRM platform that's designed to replace messy spreadsheets, scattered group texts, and forgotten emails about what's going on your projects. Instead of organizing your work in static lists, this allows you to pin every job, lead, RFI, field directive, or any assets you have on your construction site exactly on top of the GPS coordinates where they exist at. In this video, we're going to be going over the three modes that HeavyCivilHelper has depending on who's using it and how their field work is structured. We have Heavy Civil mode, which is great for public works, infrastructure, utility, and civil contracts. We have Private Contractor mode for commercial, residential, trade, and field service workers. Then we have Lead Tracking mode, which is good for outside sales reps, territory managers, canvassing teams, paper contractors, everyone. So let's dive right in. This is HeavyCivilHelper in Heavy Civil mode. Right now we're looking at a freeway cap project on the I-710 corridor. This is a live project map in lieu of using a spreadsheet or a PDF, and let me show you what's going on inside of it. Right away you can see our work zones. We have the northbound work zone, the southbound work zone, our staging and equipment area, as well as an environmental buffer zone. Now the coolest thing about these zones is that they're not just labels. Custom pins and record pins that are inside of them are assigned to the AI in the app, which allows it to break down activities by zone. So for example, in the northbound work zone, here we have an inspection point. You can see the title, description, status, checklist, and any photos that are attached to it. This pin's in the northbound zone, which is how the AI report knows where work is concentrated. The visibility panel lets me show or hide any layer. I'll turn off the zones so that way the pins stand out a little more. You can also see the different categories of pins that we have. For example, active work area, inspection hold point, survey control point, material storage, and safety concern. As well as you can turn off any record pins and all custom pins, like we did earlier. You also have access to see your plan overlays from here, but we can get into that in a little. We can also flip between map views such as satellite, detailed, and street view. On a corridor project, satellite is great for checking access routes and staging, as well as helping you align exactly where your pins fall out in the field. So I have these sample blueprint overlays, and as you can see, they stay pinned exactly to place where they go. And then you can click into them and see exactly on the blueprint where your pins, records, and everything stands out in the field as well as on the plan set. Then you're able to go and mark up on your plan set exactly any small changes that have to be made or drawn on. So I can annotate directly on the plan exactly where something is, such as if I want to point to this pin, and then we're able to print exactly what we made. As you can see, it shows up with all the pins and even a helpful legend right there on the bottom. This will help you make as-built, see exactly what's happening out in the field easier, as well as help coordinate between the office and the field. Now in HeavyCivilHelper, you also have access to an AI assistant, which you can ask questions about your job site. You can run risk reports with your AI assistant, as well as plan your route for the best way to go around your job site throughout the day and log miles traveled. In HeavyCivilHelper, you have different types of records, such as RFIs, submittals, directives, change orders, and any custom pins or location pins you want to create, and they show directly on your map as well as in your executive overview. And that's pretty much everything in Heavy Civil mode. It's very much so location first and field first, built for active corridors and civil construction jobs. Now, getting into Private Contractor mode. We're on a core and shell medical plaza project in Hawthorne. Now, private construction looks a little different, so the zones reflect building phases rather than traffic work. So we've got 4 zones on this major project: foundation and subgrade, structural steel, MEP rough-in, and exterior skin and glazing. Now each zone is a scope area, and each pin tells you exactly what's happening in each one. Now this is one of those punch list items, incomplete fire blocking in the MEP zone. The status is marked as open, there's a due date, and a checklist attached too. So that way when the crew out in the field marks it done via Heavy Civil Helper field, it closes automatically. And you can see that right here. You can also add any checklist items that have to be done before the pin can close out. That way in the field you can see exactly what's happening and where. Now that I have this one almost complete, it shows up just like so. And then when we close it out, update the pin, go back to the map, you can see it's marked as archived, which you can either show or hide, and they show up transparent just as so. So now if we go over to the structural zone, you can see these owner observations as well as inspection requirements. So this is an inspection required area for structural steel connections. I can attach photos to it, notes, and then link it to an RFI I add later. That way, when the inspector comes, signs off, and the status updates, everyone can see it, from the office to the field, and the paper trail is attached to the pin. That way you're not going back and forth, saying, where's the documentation, because one guy's out there and one guy's in the office. So satellite view at this level actually shows the building footprint too, which is useful because you can confirm where the zone boundaries land relative to the real structure on your own jobs. You can also use this if you're on a smaller scale, say doing parking lots, and it's really the job isn't as linear as heavy civil. So in private contractor mode, your records could include estimates, proposals, and change orders instead of RFIs and directives. However, if you need to add any as well, you're able to use the same location-based system and AI report with custom pins. And you can also add location pins if you need to create a master map. So that's private contractor mode in a gist. It's the same map engine, just a different way to work on it. Now, this is lead tracking mode, built for contractors who want to see their pipeline directly on the map instead of a CRM they never end up opening. So right now, what we're looking at is a paving contractor's entire SoCal territory. And then what we can do on it is we can check out everything obviously in dashboard, the same as everywhere else. See the exact territory mileage of the whole project. Then we can go down into the map and check out what's going on. As you can see, there are 4 zones set up. And again, the pins in these zones are known by your internal AI assistant, so that way you can ask it how many leads are open, how many leads are closed, what's my closing rate in all these different zones you set. So this is a hot lead on the map. A city paving contract in Long Beach at a $380,000 deal value. We've got the contact, the address, a description, and a due date for the proposal. So I can add notes directly here on the map and it be seen by everyone across the job site. Another pin here, active proposal out. We have a parking lot overlay in Torrance, $145,000 worth. The proposal was sent 3 days ago. So I can see the status on the map, add a follow-up date, and attach the proposal as a PDF upload. Then, that way it can be seen inside of documents here. What I'll do is I'll filter it just to hot leads for visibility's sake. And as you can see now, I can instantly see which territories have active opportunities and which ones need prospecting attention with no pivot tables. Satellite view especially helps when you're prospecting. You can visually scan a territory for parking lots, industrial yards, as well as road surfaces that need work directly from the map. So South Bay here has the most pins in it, so that means it has the most active leads. I can see the cluster right here. I can zoom into each one and prioritize my week based on deal value and geography, not by scrolling through a list. I can then go to my route planner and then plan based on the zones. Select by South Bay, and then I can select which one I want to go to in a row. Then I can log my miles traveled for the day, or even open in Google Maps and see the route planned out for me. The AI report in lead tracking mode summarizes your pipeline by territory, the total deal value, open proposals, and conversion rates. It reads your lead data and project info and writes the summary for you based on exactly what's going on in your project. The benefits to lead tracking mode are that it allows you to see your pipeline by territory, total values, what's open, and what's closed, and it lets you keep your entire pipeline at a glance, which you can then easily turn into a heavy civil or structural project in your dashboard. So that's lead tracking mode. You can see your entire sales pipeline on the map without any crazy overhead CRM setup. And it doesn't stop at just heavy civil. We've written articles for portable restroom contractors, for mobile detailers trying to rank in their city, for pressure washers, landscape company, concrete crews, fence contractors, any trade where you're out in the field all day and you don't have time to become a marketing expert overnight.